Key idea here today. First, we already said they're different signs. What else is different about them? Reciprocal. Reciprocal. What does reciprocal mean? What's opposite about them? Numerator and denominator. So the fractiony parts, Oscar, have flipped. The numerator and the denominator have flipped. You should have two things here, different signs and reciprocal, or something about them being flipped, or the numerator and the denominator. Okay. When the product of two numbers is 1, the numbers are reciprocals. When the product of two numbers are -1, the numbers are negative reciprocals. I don't care about y-intercepts. Here we go. Number 9. Write an equation for 3 lines that are perpendicular to the line given by y equals -2x plus 4. Explain your answer. So first of all, what's the slope of this line? -2. So if a line was parallel, that would also have a slope of -2. If a line is perpendicular, it's different, right? There are two things different about it. First of all, if this is negative, what's the perpendicular slope going to be? Positive. And if this is 2, what's the perpendicular slope going to be? 1/2. Because this is -2 over 1. Flipping it, or reciprocal, would be 1 over 2. So two things are different in the slope. First of all, in this line, the slope was -2. Yesterday, they asked you to make parallel equations, and you just had to get that -2 and write it over and over. This time, you got to think a tiny bit harder. Take that negative, make it positive. Take the 2 and put it in the bottom of a fraction. Change it from being a numerator to a denominator. So here's what they want us to do. Y equals 1/2 x plus, now this one was plus 4. Does it have to be plus 4? No. So it could be plus 7. Okay? Because we saw a couple different lines that were perpendicular in our parking lot, and the y-intercept just moves them along the graph, but keep them that. So y equals 1/2 x has to be the same, plus, can you give me a number that we're going to have for the, are you Kenya? You got a haircut, Kenya. 4?
Or 5.
She wants 5. Y equals 1/2 x plus, Oscar, give me a number. 8. All right. Number 10. Something new here. We have a point we're going to have to do. So write an equation for a line that is perpendicular to the line given by y equals 5x. What's the slope here? The number right in front of the x is the slope. Now I'm going to go y equals, am I going to say 5x? No. I would if it was parallel, but because we're perpendicular, it's not as easy. Mr. Bernal? This one's positive. What does my slope of my new line need to be? Negative. Okay, Tony, this one's 5. What does the slope of my new line need to be? No. It's not just going positive to negative. It's positive to negative and we got negative. Molly? 1 over 5. Okay, if it was parallel, we could just take that 5 and put it into the new equation, but they want us to do something that's perpendicular. So not only do we need the 5 to become negative, we need it to go to the bottom of a fraction. 1 over 5x plus b. Okay. To find the equation of the line when they give you a point, what have we been doing with that point? How do I find b? We did this yesterday. Notice this point, that 4 zeros is going to be important. Plug it in. Where do I plug the 4?
Y.
Is that an X or is that a Y? The front number is an X. The second number is the Y. All right, so right now I got to do this. I got to put a 0 equals negative 1 over 5 times 4. Now, since I'm going to have to times it by a fraction, I'm going to put that 4 over 1 plus b. Nothing can cross cancel, so I go negative 1 times 4 and 5 times 1. So I'm just going to continue working my way down. 0 equals negative 4 over 5 plus b. I kind of skipped over this because I needed more space. How do I get b by itself? I got to add it to both sides. 4/5 here, 4/5 there. Negative, positive, that cancels out. B's by itself. All right. Now, what do I do with that? Y equals negative 1/5 x. I got that from looking at the slope. I didn't know the b, now I do. So plus 4/5. Okay, slope came from the 5, but I had to switch it up a little because it's perpendicular. The b I had to find by plugging values in and simplify, simplify, simplify to figure out what b is. And they gave us a point. That's enough for today. Okay? Right now what you're doing is working on stats project and you are working on homework packet. Hey, freeze for 1 minute. Excuse me. In Google Classroom, I'm going to put a spot to turn in your presentation. Most of you are still fine-tuning, but that'll give it where it's all in one spot for me in a folder, rather than you guys sharing. I know a lot of you have already shared them. Once yours is done, you're going to go back to Google Classroom. A lot of you have already added into the classroom, but I can put the class code up if you need. Look for Math 1, and there'll be a spot to turn in your stats project when you're all done. Okay?
Got it.
So right now, books up there, rulers and protractors over here, and I'll go with that on Google Classroom. You're working on homework packet, and you're working on stats project.
Got it.
What's that smile?